Hey, what's going on, you guys? I want to welcome you back to my channel. And in this video, I'm going to break it down how to trade news, how to understand news, and how to profit from it. There's this stigma around the trading market where you should stay away from the news. That's NFP, that's CPI, that's FOMC. But in this video, I'm going to break it down in a way where you guys can understand it, you can trade it comfortably, and when you're in the markets, you won't be caught by that stigma as far as don't trade the news. I have a strategy that's specific towards trading the news, and I'm going to share that with you guys. All right, whether you're a beginner, an advanced trader, whether you trade Forex or futures, it don't matter. Stick with me in this video, and I'm going to show you how to get these pips.
Come join the Pip Academy and learn the Pip drill. Let's take the trip to Pipville.
All right, you guys, so to start off, we're going to talk about NFP. So NFP stands for non-farm payroll, and this is an economic indicator about the U.S. employment situation, which is released by the United States Department of Labor. Okay, typically this is released on the first Friday of every month. Now, employment is extremely important to the Federal Reserve Bank because if the employment rate is higher than expected, then the economy is thought to be running above its potential. And this can cause the dollar index to appreciate, causing the markets to go up. Okay, so now NFP, it represents the number of jobs that are added. However, this is excluding farm employees, government employees, household employees, nonprofit organizations. So when this happens, traders, they should take note when NFP is released because this can cause huge volatility in the market. All right, you guys, so now we're going to talk about CPI. And CPI stands for your Consumer Price Index. And basically, this is the standard inflation indicator for all economies, not just the US. Okay. Now, in order to compare a chosen number of items from one year to the next, basically it uses like a basket of goods. And these goods are pretty much the goods that are focusing on what people use every day. Okay, like your milk, eggs, toothpaste. Okay, these are some items that CPI will use. Okay, now CPI is calculated by averaging these particular items that's in this particular basket. And so basically the index, it bases its calculations on a base year in which changes are presented as percentage changes to reflect earlier index levels. All right. Now I know that might sound a little bit confusing, but just stick with me a little bit. So it's two CPI metrics. You got your CPIW for urban wage and clerical workers, and you got your CPIU for all urban consumers. Okay. The CPIU is the most closely monitored metric because it's represented by seasonal adjustments. All right. Now, CPI is also used to pinpoint instances of deflation, inflation, and typically inflation happens when there's a sharp increase in the CPI over a short period of time. And so deflation is when you got, in essence, a downward trend. Okay. Now, when you have items like your pension, your Medicare, cost of living, all of these things are measured in the CPI as well. All right, you guys. So lastly, we're going to talk about FOMC. And basically, this stands for the Federal Open Market Committee. Now, the Open Market Committee of the Federal Reserve System, which means it's the main decision-making body with respects to monetary policy of the United States economy. Okay, that's where the monetary policy decision gets made. Now, there are 8 meetings held each year, which is a big deal in regards to the markets, okay, because it can cause major volatility, okay? It takes into account unemployment, where the economy has been recently and where it's going today. So if we're looking at this particular chart, this is gold at the moment, all right? And so here I've plotted out 5 different NFPs for the previous 5 months. We got November, October, September, August, and July. Okay. And now going back to what I said, the market will give you breadcrumbs a couple days prior to that news event as to where the market is going. Now, before we get into that, if you look at this, you notice that we're currently bullish on the daily time frame. Okay. We got higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and so on and so forth. So we can see from a daily perspective, we're already bullish. Okay, now let's look at this. Okay, let me kind of remove that and remove this. Now let's look at it. Let's start off with July. In July, I said a couple days prior, it'll give you breadcrumbs. We can see, because we understand that the market is bullish, price gave a huge bullish engulfing, gave a small retest. During NFP, it pretty much pushed the market where it wanted to go. Okay, it gave you an indication that the market wanted to push up. Okay, so that's the first clue, and you can see how the market, how news pretty much pushes it in the direction in which it's going. Okay, so now let's come over to the next month. We can see we had a huge bullish engulfing. However, we got the sellers came in and the market closed with a doji. So during NFP, we can see that the market is moving bearish, and price pretty much pushed the market in its intended direction in which it wanted to go. Okay, news pretty much pushed it to a bearish state because the sellers, they came into the market. All right, so now let's move over to September. If we see in this area here, price came down, we got a doji, and we got another doji that decided to close in a bullish fashion. And then right after that, we got a bullish engulfing. Okay, so understanding this particular pattern here, NFP gave us a retest. It never broke this area here. And then price decided to push it in its intended direction. Okay, now let's move over to October. If we look at this, a couple days prior to, we can see the seller started to enter the market and price started to go downward. Okay, during the news event, price pushed it in its intended direction. All right, and if we look at the last one of November, we can see we had a huge bearish engulfing in this area here. And for NFP, price pushed the market where it wanted to go. We had indecision on Monday, and then price decided to continue in that direction. Okay, and we can see this happens over and over again. All right, you guys, so going back over to NFP, I decided to draw some daily levels. That way we can see how the market or news events respects these levels. Okay, so as you can see in July, we can see price decided to break above during our news event, gave us a nice retest. Right after this news event, you know, we could have rolled price up in that fashion there. Okay, if we look at this here, price broke away from this level here. It came up, failed to break this level. The seller started to come in. We could have took a sell. We could have took a sell in this area here, rode it down to the next level. Okay, if we look at this one here, price came up. It respected this level here, gave a hammer here and a bullish doji in this fashion. We could have took an entry. We would have been protected here, and you can see price decided to push up in that fashion there. Same holds true here. The same holds true here. Price could not break this level. Price kept coming back to this area. It failed to break. The news event pushed the market down. Okay. In this area here, right before NFP, we can see the market broke through, gave us a bearish engulfing. During our news event, it pretty much gave us a retest and pushed the market where it wanted to go. All right. All right, you guys. So 15 to 30 minutes after your news event, you typically get a retest and a better entry if you correlate this with your daily levels. Okay, now let me repeat that. Usually 15 to 30 minutes after your news event, you'll get a retest and an opportunity that correlates with your daily levels. All right, so let's go ahead and walk through this. Now, if we see this was during our July NFP event. We see price decided to push up for NFP. Price gave us a retest down in this area here. Okay, one of the things we could have done is when price pushed down here, I'm sorry, that's the wrong way. We could have took an entry as soon as price kind of closed out this particular demand zone in this area here. Price below this area, rode it up to a nice 1 to 3 in this area here. Or when price decided to close below this area here, rode it up for a nice 1 to 3 in this fashion here. Okay, that's the first one. All right, let's look at our next news event. All right, this area here. All right, we want to correlate this with our daily time frame. All right, so now 15 minutes, price decided to come up. It failed to break this daily level. Okay, price came down. It gave us a retest right into the supply zone here. We could have taken an entry in this area here, stop loss here or above this area, whichever one you decide. Roll this down for a nice 1 to 3 risk reward. Okay, so I'm giving you guys strategies that you can utilize for your news events. Okay, for those who want to wait after the news event, this is a strategy that you guys can use. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, check this out, you guys. Price, the news event pushed price up. Price decided to come down in this area. Now, in this area, you can say to yourself, I don't have a good entry as of this point. Okay, but what did price do? Price came up, gave us a retest. From there, it broke in this fashion here. From there, as soon as we got our bearish engulfing here, price above this area, ride it down for a nice 1 to 3 risk reward. Let's see if we actually get that one. Okay, so it don't quite go down to the 1 to 3 risk reward. However, you know what I'm saying? On something like this, you can do your judgment. And what I mean by that is when price breaks this area here, go ahead and move your stops to break even. Okay, price come down to this area here, you can start to take partial, set you an alert. Price come down to this level, set you an alert if it doesn't hit your 1 to 3. So you want to use your judgment. You know, if you're coming down to a level, use your judgment. Make sure you're setting alerts and things like that. That way you can be smart when you're taking your entries, but you can still see that it gives you opportunities. All right, let's look at one more. All right, prime example in this area here. All right, what did NFP do? NFP pushed the market down. Okay, price decided to come up in this fashion here, and then price decided to give us a nice push to the upside. Okay, when price gave us this rejection here and we started to see this, we could have took an entry up to this area, or we could have waited for price to close in this area and failed to break our daily level. Okay, from there, take your entry, write it down. All right, but you guys can see how this one here, you can see the news event happened and price decided to push the market up. Now we want to be more conscious, and it's safer to take them off of our levels. Okay, price decided to come up to this area, it failed to break this area. We could have took an entry as soon as price broke this area here, stop loss above our level, write it down to a nice 1 to 3 risk reward. Okay, here, write it down to a nice 1 to 3, move our stop loss over, our entry tool over, and we can see that price was successful. Now it took a minute for this one to play out, but like I said, on trades like this, you can use your judgment and set alerts at different areas to take partial profits and things like that. All right. Hey, you guys, I want to thank you for rocking with me. I hope this video blesses you. Remember, 2 days prior on your daily time frame, the market will give you clues on your CPIs, your NFPs, FOMCs. And if you're the type of person that want to wait after to be safe and wait for confirmations, wait 15 to 30 minutes, after that news event, and correlate it with your daily levels, you can take a nice entry, ride it down to a level 1 to 3. Make sure you use alerts, and you're golden. Thank you for rocking with me. I'll see y'all on the next video.
Then we capitalize on what we see. Wanna go to Pittville? Come join the Pip Academy and learn the Pip drill. Let's take the trip to Pittville.